Hi friends.
Hi kids. Oh yaar, you're on our screens again.
Oh, this is Growl. He's always grumpy. And I'm Kazuo. And I'm happy to welcome you to the magical world of stories, Kahaani. Hey, do you know that your hands can tell a story? Your hands can make a deer or a bird.
That is not true.
But it is! My friend Drew Colby will show us how with his shadow puppets. And here's a story, an Anansi and 5 about a Spider-Man.
This is a story about Anansi. Have you heard of Anansi before? Have you met Anansi? Oh, he's a very interesting character. Anansi is a trickster. He's always tricking people and animals, and sometimes the people and animals trick him. Now, the tricky thing about Anansi is that sometimes he's a spider. But sometimes Anansi is a man. So you could say Anansi is the original Spider-Man, and he always has a plan. And Anansi liked nothing better than to eat. Ooh. But Anansi liked nothing worse than to work for his food. So this is a story all about Anansi. In Anansi's village, there lived an old witch. And her name was 5. Have you ever heard of anyone called 5 before? No. Because 5 is not a name. 5 is a number. Well, all of the people in the village thought it was hilarious that she was called 5. Hey, come quickly. What is it? Here comes that stupid old witch again. What's her name? It's not actually a name, it's a number. Not 1, no, not 2, no, not 3, no, not 4, no, it's 5. What a stupid name, I know, and she smells. Well, do you think the witch called 5 was happy to be laughed at because of her name? Do you think she was sad to be laughed at because of her name? You think she was angry to be laughed at because of her name? She wasn't happy. She wasn't sad. She wasn't even angry. She was very angry. How dare you laugh at me because of my lovely name? So the witch called 5, mumble, double, toil and trouble, made a spell, a curse, mumble, anyone who said the word 5 would disappear. Hey, come quickly. What is it? Here comes that stupid old witch again. What's her name? It's not a name, it's a number. It's not 1, no, not 2, no, not 3, no, not 4, no, it's 5. Who? What happened? My friend disappeared when he said the word 5. Well, when Anansi, the Spider-Man, heard about this, he made a plan. When he heard about the curse, he made a cunning plan, because he was the original Spider-Man, and he always had a plan. So Anansi went and he got some potatoes. How many potatoes? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll count that again in case you missed it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Anansi took the potatoes and he planted them in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he went and relaxed in the shade of a tree. And along came an animal. Which animal came along first? Can you guess? It was this one. A dog. And as everybody knows, dogs like to eat meat. And the dog was carrying some meat home for her puppies. And Anansi said, Dog, it's me, your friend Anansi. I've planted all these potatoes, but I don't know how to count them. But if you'll count them for me, I'll give you a potato to have with your meat. Nothing goes better than meat and potatoes. And the dog thought, and she said, Oh, certainly. And she put down a sack of meat And she turned and looked at the row of potatoes, and she began to count the potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the dog disappeared because of the witch's curse, and Anansi took the sack of meat. Then along came another animal. Which animal came along next, do you think? We had a dog, so it must have been a meow. A cat. And as everybody knows, cats like to eat fish. And the same thing happened. Anansi said, "Cat, cat, it's me, your friend Anansi. I've planted all these potatoes, but I don't know how to count them. But if you count them for me, I'll give you a potato to have with your fish. Then you can have fish and chips." And the cat thought that was a very good idea. So she put down the bag of fish she'd been carrying home for her kittens, and she looked at the row of potatoes, and she counted them with her tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the cat disappeared, and Anansi took the sack of fish and put it with the sack of meat. Then along came another animal. We had a dog, we had a cat, so it must be a bird. A beautiful bird came flying by and landed on a branch. And as everybody knows, birds like to eat seeds, and the bird had a big bag of seeds that she was carrying home to eat all by herself. And Anansi said, "Bird, it's me, your friend Anansi. I've planted all these potatoes, but I don't know how to count them. But if you count them for me, I'll give you a potato to have with your seeds. That will be very nutritious." And the bird said, which means, "That sounds like a good deal." And the bird looked at the row of potatoes, and she began to count them. She counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the bird disappeared, and Anansi took the bag of seeds. Then along came another animal. Which animal came along next? It was a deer. And as everybody knows, deers like to eat leaves. And this deer was carrying home a nice bag of leaves for all the other deers. And Anansi said, "Dear, it's me, your friend Anansi. I've planted all these potatoes, but I don't know how to count them. But if you count them for me, I'll give you a potato to have with your leaves. Nothing goes better than potatoes and leaves." And the deer did actually like potatoes and leaves very much, so the deer began to count the potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, and the deer disappeared, and Anansi took the bag of leaves. Then along came another animal. It was a big animal, and the same thing happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. A small animal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. A middle-sized animal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Along came a tiny mouse with some cheese, and the same thing happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And Anansi took the cheese, and then even along came the great grey elephant with some peanuts, and the same thing happened. The elephant counted the potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, until Anansi was sitting on a mountain of sacks and bags of food that he'd taken and tricked out of the other animals. That is, until along came the rabbit. And as everybody knows, rabbits like to eat carrots. And this rabbit had a big bag of carrots she was carrying home for her little bunnies. And Anansi said, "Rabbit, rabbit, it's me, your friend Anansi. I've planted all these potatoes, but I don't know how to count them. But if you'll count them for me, I'll give you a potato to have with your carrots. Then you can make vegetable stew." And the rabbit liked vegetable stew, so she turned and she looked at the potatoes. And she thought and she scratched her head. Then she began to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. But that's not the way you count. Count again. Subtly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. But that's not the way you count, said Anansi, who was now in spider form. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. But that's not the way you count. Count again. Certainly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. But that's not the way you count. Count again. Certainly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. That's not the way you count. Count again. Certainly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. That's not the way you count. Count again. Certainly. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the way you count. This is the way you count. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Anansi disappeared. And the little rabbit took all the sacks of food, the sack of meat, the sack of fish, the sack of seeds, the sack of leaves, all the sacks of food, the cheese from the mouse, the peanuts from the elephant, even the carrots, and those potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more. And she ran home to her bunnies. And that is the end of the story of Anansi and 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wasn't that fun? And guess what? Drew is now going to teach us how to make our favorite animals from our hands. Come on, let's go!
Now I'm going to show you how to make some of the hand shadow animals that Anansi met. So take your right hand, have a little practice at opening and closing your fingers like this. And if your hand gets tired, give it a little shake. Now this is a very good exercise. Make a fist, because many of the hand shadows need your fingers to be closed together, like this. Your thumb is the dog's ear, and your index finger is the dog's eye. Then your little finger is the dog's mouth, like that. And that's how you make the dog. If you can't move the little finger without this finger following like that, have a little practice holding these fingers like that, so you can strengthen the muscle. Now the next animal Anansi met was the cat, which I make with my left hand. So curl your fingers in to make a fist, also a good exercise, and then poke up your little finger and your index finger and move your thumb inside like that. That is the cat's head, and then you put your hand at the bottom and wiggle your middle finger of your right hand to make the cat's tail, like that. Now the next animal Anansi met was the bird. And the bird needs both hands to make it fly. Fingers like this, thumbs up, cross your hands over And there is the bird having a nice fly. And practice moving the wings like this and like this. And maybe just gliding as well. That's it. Then the next animal Anansi met, what was it? Can you remember? It was a deer. That's right, good. Deer is very, very simple, and you can do 2 deers at once. So your 2 middle fingers go down to your thumb, and there's the deer. Now, if you want to be a little bit more advanced, you can bring in this finger to make the eye. So there you can see the deer's got a little pupil to its eye, like that. That's the deer. Now, Anansi the Spider-Man, if we go back to our bird position and cross over, like that. Open the fingers, drop the thumbs, and bend the fingers to make a spider. That's Anansi the Spider-Man. The 2 little people in the village, take your hands, turn them upside down, and your thumbs will be the mouths. You need to make a little bit of a nose with your middle finger, and then your little finger makes hair or possibly a little hat, and those are the 2 people. Then you can have a little conversation with them. Now it's time for you to make some shadows at home. Can you do that? And if you make a shadow, maybe it's one of these shadows, maybe you make up a shadow. Can you make a video of it and send it to the email address coming up on your screen? That would be really wonderful. I'd really like that. Thank you so much. Bye.
Wow, I can't wait to try these with my mom and dad. I always wanted to fly, so I think I'll send Drew a video of a bird. I'll call her Shadow Bird. What about you? I hope you're sending in your shadow animals too. You can come up with new ones as well. Just don't forget to give them a cool name. If you have any stories we should hear or any stories you want us to tell everyone, write to us on kahaani@kahaanifestival.com. Who knows, we might be telling your story next. Bye bye. See you next time.
Teamwork Arts, bringing India to the world and the world to India through Indian art and culture for over 30 years. One of Teamwork Arts' signature events, the Z Jaipur Literature Festival, is the world's largest free festival of its kind. With daily interactive sessions, lively debate and dialogue, and international music performances every night, it's no wonder the festival attracts over 500,000 visitors a year. The Jaipur Bookmark, an international B2B event for the publishing industry, happens during the Z Jaipur Literature Festival and sees a confluence of publishers, writers, and literary agents. Teamwork Arts, producers of the Z Jaipur Literature Festival, have taken the flavor of the festival to international shores with vibrant events in the UK, Australia, and the US. Teamwork Arts takes India's artistic diversity to the world with almost 12 festivals of India across continents in a stunning array in over 40 cities. A feast for the senses, these are spectacles of dance, music, cinema, theatre, literature, and so much more. In each of these places, Teamwork Arts' colourful festivals of India are the high points of the annual cultural calendars. Be it Confluence in Australia, India by the Bay in Hong Kong, India by the Nile in Egypt, Iron India in Chicago, Shared History in South Africa, India in the Sunshine City in Zimbabwe, Edinburgh Fringe Festival, Kala Utsavam in Singapore, Sarang in South Korea, festivals in Abu Dhabi, Shanghai, Sweden. The list is dizzying. The Jazz India Circuit is an endeavour by Teamwork Arts to spread the word and sound of jazz across the country. The 2017-18 season, 4 festivals across 3 cities featuring over 25 stellar artists from India and around the world, including Jojo Mayer and Nerve, drummer-singer Jameson Ross, and Dave Weckl, who collaborated with the talented Mohini Day. The Mahindra Kabira Festival celebrates the spirit, lyric and verse of the 15th century mystic poet Kabir in his birthplace, the historic city of Varanasi. Kabir's poetry is about inclusiveness. Mahindra Kabira brings to music lovers an unforgettable experience of listening to leading exponents of the classical Banaras Gharana and rich folk traditions of music on the legendary banks of the mighty river Ganges, along with sessions on art and literature, specially curated walks with famous local residents and delectable local cuisine. Sacred celebrates the spiritual through music and its ability to heal. International artists collaborate with world music exponents from India amongst the most incredible desert settings on the banks of the Pushkar Lake. Heritage walks, meditation, talks and workshops are part of this weekend experience. Teamwork Arts so promotes and recognizes the best of Indian theatre through the Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards. The Meta Week in Delhi is an enthralling showcase of the 10 best nominated plays shortlisted from numerous entries received from across the country and across languages. The Meta Lifetime Achievement Award has been presented to leading lights of India's theatre industry. For the young and the young at heart, the Ishara International Puppet Theatre Festival brings local and international performances to audiences across several Indian cities. While the multi-city Kahaani Festival features interactive storytelling sessions and workshops championing the power of imagination. Bollywood Love Story, a musical. Our international touring productions such as Bollywood Extravaganza and Flamenco India have sold out shows across Europe, Egypt, Russia and Spain. Expressions International Contemporary Dance Festival showcases Indian and international productions, bringing together several dance genres for Indian audiences. Teamwork Arts, celebrating the arts. For more information, visit www.teamworkarts.com